yeah, perhaps we'll start up and people will joining in as they're still able to enter and join in. Yes, this is quite of a milestone actually today. It's the 7th out of our 7 present thematic interest groups on digital transition. The seminars has been run since in December 2022 and has been given us an opportunity or option for people both inside or outside the thematic groups to see what's going on, what has happened already, how the current status of the activities are in the thematic group, and not least about what are being planned for the future, what kind of activities plans are being done for initiatives when it comes to education, research, project, joint directions, and so on. The thematic groups are formed for the STARS EU Alliance as a cross-boundary, cross-sectional initiative to address interesting and important topics between the different structures in this alliance. So this, as I said, this the 7th out of 7. So that's the milestone. In the end, I will try to say some words that there will be other seminars, there'll be other initiatives coming on, but we are leaving the phase of the initial ones on presenting the thematic groups and what are in the groups and what are planned and thought and going on in the groups. I will also need to inform you all that this seminar today are being recorded. So if you are not comfortable or accept that you could be seen in thumbnails, or if you ask questions or are shown in picture, you must tell us or leave the seminar, because it's recorded as a part of the service inside the STARS EU Alliance, and we will upload the video from today's seminar on our website, and it will be open for others to see afterwards and take part of. So I really hope that you are okay and accept these terms. Yeah, today, as I said, it's the thematic interest group of digital transition. It's Rafael and his friends in that thematic group, which is led by UFC, University of France Comté. And there will be a little bit about the current status of the thematic group, the activities, and I think not least about initiatives and thoughts about future and development within the area of the group. So I'll actually hand over the scene and the microphone and the picture for Rafael, I believe, will start up, and I'll be here to try to help and moderate, but the floor's yours. And not the only thing that I want you to think about is that there are possibility of asking questions and giving remarks in the end, so people attending the seminar are given the chance to have their thoughts and suggestions. Otherwise, please feel free based on the format of the TIG.
Okay, so thank you very much for this introduction. So you are here, we are here to make a presentation on the digital transformation group. So here is the agenda that we will follow today. So there is a part in which we will open, and you already opened the TIG. So there is a short introduction, and then we will have two presentations. So one from Madeleine, and I will make another presentation of possible subject of collaborations. And finally, there is a part in which we can ask questions and answers. So here we can start by the opening. So I can present. So we can present the TIG leaders. So I will lead this session with other colleagues. So I am Rafael Couturier from the University of Franche-Comté, and so I cannot see if other leaders are here. Maybe Mariek, you can see that, because as I am presenting, I cannot see who are the other colleagues.
I can just add, Rafael, that I heard from Patricia that Madeleine is joining for the presentation. No.
Oh, okay.
Patricia, does she has the link on the STARS EU calendar, Madeleine?
Yeah, she has the link, but she said that she cannot enter and she is required to give ID.
That's strange.
Yeah.
Maybe Gunnar and your colleagues, you can help us here.
That's strange, because there's no ID set for this Zoom webinar. It should be open, where there's no password or log on code, I'm afraid. But does she have the direct URL link, so it's not through the Google Calendar?
Yeah, she does.
Okay. I can't really say. I'll need to check with Marcus if he has some thoughts on this. Yeah, just a sec.
So I was referring to Madeleine, since University of Franche-Comté is leading this TIG together with Hanze University of Applied Sciences.
Yes.
So help this again.
So if you want, we can make a brief brief reminders of what has been done in the TIG in Tenerife. So I was not in Tenerife, so maybe Mariek, but also other participants can make a short debrief of what has been done.
I was at this meeting. I think Benjamin was, Lars was maybe. Indeed, since last autumn, this group didn't meet a lot. So the idea was to make a restart, and I have no minutes and know what was exactly discussed in Tenerife. I think the real restart was made in June.
Sorry, I was not able to hear everything. So I don't know. I was not in Tenerife. So is there anyone who participated that can make a short description of what has been done?
I'm not sure many of us were there.
Okay.
Actually.
So
I was in Tenerife, but I wasn't at that meeting because it was led by Lars Svensson at University of West, who at that time were co-host for the digital transition. I could find the information, but I wasn't aware of that. I should have done that, but I could find the information that was posted to the partners after the Tenerife meeting, if you want to.
No, maybe we will not spend a lot of time. So there was a meeting. So I wanted to participate remotely, but I know that there was some problem with the remote connection. So yeah, some people could meet and make good things there, but I was not able to have more information about. So maybe we can continue because the time is running. So what is in the pipeline currently? So 2 projects will be presented. So one, as I mentioned, by Madeleine, and one by myself. And the goal will be to show that there are possible way to collaborate. And later, what could be interesting is to organize virtual meetings in order to build projects between members. So, of course, today only 2 projects will be presented, but it's only to show 2 possible ideas. And of course, the TIG is open to other projects. And it's not because we have an project that it will be presented and funded later. So of course, all the interesting ideas are welcome. And I think we can talk about the next challenges that we are faced on. Of course, the best way will be to be able to submit some projects that are accepted. We need to make collaborations with other TIGs. So according to the other TIGs, or your colleagues that are collaborating with the other TIGs, maybe it's possible to make some links between these TIGs, and I think this is a great idea. We, of course, are invited to propose some BIPs. So I think we received an email about that few days before, and so it's important to propose some courses for the student in all the university of the Alliance. And then the next meeting will be in Bremen in November and in Besançon next year. So it's only to draw a general presentation of the opening. So maybe you have one or quick question about that before we move to the presentations. But if you prefer to have questions later, it's also possible.
I could add one thing, if it's okay, Rafael,
Yeah.
is that beside next meetings in Bremen in November, there will also be the kickoff for the STARS EU Alliance in beginning of December in Trollhättan, Sweden, for all the working parties and the structures. So it will be for the TIGs as well. It will be in a hybrid format, but it will be the official kickoff after that we have received the funding and what to do next in the forthcoming year based on the project starts in November 1st.
Okay, so thank you very much for that. So I don't know, Madeleine could join us or not?
Madeleine is still stuck with his meeting idea.
Okay, so if she has some problem, maybe we can switch the both presentations.
Exactly. Yeah.
So sorry for her. I told you that Madeleine will start, but in fact we will switch both presentation, and I change my screen. Okay, so are you able to see the screen now? Yes. Okay, so what I will present in let's say 10 or 15 minutes is a possible project about artificial intelligence to improve diagnostics in hospital. So I presented this project in June. I made a few modifications following the presentations. So what is I will, during this presentation, present a general context. I will present some projects related to artificial intelligence and medicine that on which we work in the University of Franche-Comté. So I will present something about segmentation of myocardial infarction and another thing which is quite related, which consists on the detection of airwave with a noisy electrocardiogram. So this was part project we've worked on, and I will later present some possible projects of collaborations. So one could be to continue one of these projects, or to work on segmentation for microscopy images of the corneal, or something about automatic ICD-10 classification. And finally, due to the discussion we had in the last meeting, something about electrocardiogram-based diagnosis with artificial intelligence. So what is the general context? I think that everyone knows that there is currently a lot of progress in artificial intelligence. So related to the medicine, it's possible to handle one-dimension signals, for example, with an electrocardiogram, but in many situations, we have time series, which are one-dimension signals. So it's possible to manage this kind of signal. It's possible to manage two-dimension signal with images, with segmentation. And I will show you things on that. And of course, there are three-dimensional signals in case we have many images, or if you have videos. Concerning the text, a lot of tools are currently existing. So everyone knows about ChatGPT, but there are many other tools about natural language processing that could be interesting to manipulate text to make the diagnosis in a hospital. And so I think it could be very interesting to propose something about that to help colleagues in hospital to make better diagnostic. So as I mentioned, it's possible we work on something related to the myocardial infarction segmentation with MRI. So suppose you have someone has a myocardial infarction, so the person will go to the hospital, and the doctors will try to quantify the severity of the infarction with MRI images. So MRI images, you go inside the machine that will take some magnetic resonance image of the heart. And the doctor, in order to make a diagnostic, needs to have some ideas about the severity of the infarction. So for that, currently there are no automatic tools for that, and that's why one of our PhD students work on that. So in this image, what you can see is a slice of the myocardium, and the PhD student made a tool to make an automatic segmentation of the myocardium. And what you can see here, it's in orange, a part of the heart that has been damaged. So previously, the colleague in hospital needed to make the segmentation by hand, and with the work of this PhD, it's possible to make a tool that gives this kind of results. So this is interesting because this could help the doctor to make automatic segmentation. Of course, we propose that in order to help the doctor to make better diagnostic. So it's something we've done, and it could be interesting to continue this. In order to make MRI images, in fact, you will go inside the machine, and in fact, you will have some electrodes on your body. The goal is to be able to acquire the electrocardiogram system signals. The problem is inside the machine during the machine, when the machine is making the acquisition of the data, you have a lot of magnetic signals, and in fact everything is perturbed because you are in a magnetic field which is very strong. So in fact, all the data of your TIG are very perturbed due to the magnetic fields. And what we wanted to do in this project is to be able to train one-dimension signal neural network in order to detect the beginning of the R wave. So in fact, here you have an example of what we need to do. We have a perturbative signal here in black, the ECG, and the goal is to be able, we have three signals because we have three electrodes. The goal is to be able to detect the start of the R wave. And we've worked on that, and we obtained quite interesting results. So it could be interesting to continue this. So for that, what we've done, we've used normal ECG, which are perturbed with some algorithm in order to create a database of signal to train the neural network, and later we are able to detect correctly the R wave in many situations. So this was two projects on which we have worked. In fact, here I present another project. So we didn't start anything on that, but we have some colleagues in the hospital that are interested to be able to segment the images of the corneal. So many people have some problems with the eyes, so with the corneal. So the name is endothelium. And the goal is to be able to detect the number of cells. Before being able to make a transplantation if you have some problem with the eyes. So we talked with some colleagues in the hospital, and they are very interested to work on that subject because, in fact, they are counting the number of cells manually. Of course, if we are able to develop something that could help them to make some diagnostic, it would be very interesting. Another possible project, so some colleagues are working on that. When you go to the hospital, in fact, there is a system which is called ICD-10. So it's a classification of all the diseases all over the world. And this is a tool that allows anyone in the hospital to be able to give a code which is a code which is standard all over the world. So our colleague in our team are trying to train artificial intelligence tools in order to make a multi-label text classification. So in fact, what is difficult is if we are working only on one language, so we are working with the French language in our case currently. What is the challenge is that the number of codes is very high. And for example, when someone will go to the hospital, after the operation, someone is attributing this code manually. So after the operation, this person will say, you have this problem, this problem, this problem, this problem, and you need to choose between a very high number of codes. And so this is a work that has been initiated in one hospital in France. Of course, it would be interesting to work on that. And then finally, after the discussion we had last time, some people think that it would be interesting to work on cardiovascular disease, because this is one of the leading global cause of mortality. So many people have this kind of problems. And in this case, you have the goal is to be able to instrument the electrocardiogram on some people and make an automatic analysis. In order to do that, there are different ways. So some person will have alter analysis So you will go back home and you have a tool that will measure your ECG during 1 or between 1 and 3 days. So the amount of data is very high, and it's very boring for human to be able to extract the significant features manually. So the goal will be to, for example, to be able to extract these features with either machine learning, classical machine learning, or with deep learning, according to the features we are interested in. And using that, it's possible to work on different number of diseases. So maybe at the beginning to focus, it would be interesting to focus on 1 or 2 diseases, and then try to continue on other pathology. So this was the presentation in, yeah, let's say 10 or 15 minutes, and of course we can talk about that during the question and answer. And currently I can let Madeleine present if she is able to. So I stop the sharing.
Thank you, Rafael.
Yes.
Very interesting. Something that we should come back to. Madeleine is in the meeting, and I think she will be able to present now her piece.
The problem is I cannot stop the sharing. I will try.
Hello, good afternoon. Yes, I am here. I'm very sorry for this problems of starting up. Somehow I didn't manage to come in. I needed an idea. I don't know why, but things of digital technology, that is not always clear for everyone. At least for me, it wasn't. Funny thing is that my topic is about digital literacy and inclusion. So, well, here is a good example how we are all learning still. I think it was kind of a technical problem, but anyway. I will share my screen as I have a presentation as well. I'm very happy to be here today and to be able to share this this presentation on our project. Let me see. I'm going to share my whole screen with you. And then I'm going to open the presentation. Are you seeing this properly now? Someone can give me a...
Yes, yeah, that's,
I'm not seeing...
we see,
yes?
Yeah.
Great. So I'm going to put it in presentation mode, and then you will see it even better, I hope. Oh, no. Oh, yes, there it is. So I'm presenting here today an Erasmus Plus Cooperation Partnership that Hanze University of Applied Sciences is leading together with the Southeast Technological University of Ireland, Instituto Politécnico de Bragança, Portugal, Hochschule Bremen, and funded with Erasmus funding. And we started this project this year, and we have 3 years to go. And I'm very happy to say that we have already been achieving 2 project results, and I will be bringing you along on this journey of digital learning. And specifically, this is for enhancing our digital literacy skills development and inclusion in higher education institutions. So, well, first of all, I would like to present the project team. I see this is in the way. So these are all very nice people and very enthusiastic colleagues from these institutions I just mentioned. Here we are at the first learning, teaching and training activity that we had in March this year together with all partners in Ireland. And, okay. And this project actually was conceived in in an era of changing educational landscape. Of course, with digitalization as a transformative force, but also with a lot of societal challenges that as higher education institutions, we are trying to contribute to solve. And in that sense, as a knowledge institution and as a teaching institution is, of course, a role for contributing to the force of demands of our companies and the organization in our regions leads to, well, try to increase the demands for innovation with our educational endeavors as well. And then also, of course, offering innovative educational programs. Actually, I think that STARS AU as an alliance with the mission and with the vision on education, we are together building these innovative educational programs. So with that in mind, on the one hand side, and on the other hand side, with a next generation of students that actually deal in a very different way with digital technology than we teachers of a certain age groups, of course, there is also a big variety in that. But basically, young people of 18, 19 nowadays, they think, interact, and use digital technology in a completely different way as educational systems has been designed for. So we really have to rethink the digital education we're offering. And we're talking, of course, about skilling, reskilling, upskilling our faculty staff, not only the teachers, but all employees involved in educational processes. We have to really put a lot of effort in facilitating and making also fun and accessible the continuous professional development in a way that digital competences and understandings are accessible for everyone involved. So, and of course, the accelerator of the whole these process has been the pandemic, right? So this is what we all have experienced for sure. And this really made a change probably in the velocity of change, at least. So Ignition's objective in that sense is that we want to bring our forces together to strengthen our efforts in increasing the awareness and the development of our digital literacy skills. In a way we are more inclusive, in a way we can collaborate and innovate also digitally better together with also the external partners that we collaborate with in these societal challenges that we bring in our curriculum. So when we talk about digital literacy, we talk about a very layered and also complex concept, because it's not only about knowing which buttons to touch and how to get, for example, in a Zoom session like today. It is also, of course, about the cognitive skills that we need to understand what technology actually does. How does an algorithm function? To what account, what grade or what level of knowledge do we actually have about technology? And on the other hand side, it is also very much so a social practice and a proactive engagement digital content. So it is a layered concept that is not easily defined. Actually, there is not one only definition of it. So the way we deal with this concept also from our research and our cooperation partnership perspective is going to define the results that we will achieve. For example, we talk about media literacy. We talk about how do we access the information in the media and how do we define and judge the information that is coming through media, different media channels. It's about computer or ICT literacy, to know the buttons, right? But also to know the processes behind and computational thinking. It's about the information literacy. What are then the good sources? How do we know that we have the right information there? How do we know that information is valid? To what account do we need then that specific knowledge of certain type of topics? And of course, nowadays, specifically with the AI developments, what do we understand of the AI literacy and how are we going to deal with that also in higher education? So these all are aspects of digital literacy, which also kind of helps us see that this is a very plural and ambiguous concept. So we are here leaning on the work of Belgia, who wrote a fantastic dissertation and a research script on the concept of digital literacy. Actually, what we're talking about is power to fully be able to participate in these digital worlds. So with that in mind, with that layered and complex concept in mind, in Ignition, what we have thought of as a model that could help us to bring our efforts together and achieve our goals is to see digital transformation in higher education institutions as a three-pillar building with, of course, people involved, teachers, staff, students, technology, which are the tools that we use in digital education, and of course the processes itself, so the learning and the educational programs and processes. So with these three pillars, what we thought that we would need in order to enhance our digital literacy skills development is, on the one hand side, a teachers' community of practice where we can learn together. But we also need tools to assess our knowledge and to facilitate the learning process of digital education with our students, but also with colleagues. And then also what we would need is to tackle the challenges of society that we work with the regions and the partners in the region that we work with, and also in terms of digital challenges that they face. So we came up with a couple of intellectual outcomes or project results. And the first one was to establish a digital agenda. So we have to kind of organize the information and the topics that we want to tackle, and we need a framework for that. Well, we've done that already by far. We have that in the website as well, actually. It is here listed. And also we need some tools, as stated in the model. So one, a self-assessment tool. We also have built that, it's already available. But we also need kind of a toolkit that helps us engage better with our external stakeholders in these processes. And we're working on that. And then, of course, the community of practice for educators. We had the Kickoff this year, and we very much invite you all to join us in the community of practice on these different knowledge sessions that we're organizing. And we're working now on the Challenge Lab. This is where we engage external stakeholders, challenges on digitalization with our educational programs and working with students and researchers. So the digital agenda is that what we have right now, and how we came up with that. We did this research work building on the learner history methodology. And what we did was basically first do a literature review and policy review for partner institutions in our countries and regions. Then we had these interviews with experts in our institutions, and we put together all the information, discussed it, and took some decision in the focus groups that we organized. And with that methodology of learning history, basically what we did is that we learned from each other's experience, and we obtained the qualitative insights on what actually our experiences were, or teachers' experiences in this case, the needs and frustrations and topics to introduce. And we did that according or basing our analysis on this methodology of the framework for educators, the TIG Edu. As you can see here, this is a well-known framework, and it stems actually from an earlier framework, which is just the digital competence framework, but this one is specifically developed for education. So our key sites of research actually let us help and see the need and the relevance of blended learning, so combining online and physical learning processes, the need for collaborative digital tools and digital assessment, and of course, the continuous personal development. We also saw a very clear digital gap, and the gap is not only between ages, it's also between disciplines. Specific social sciences, humanities, health sciences, exact sciences, there's also a big digital gap, and also different languages we speak. We also saw that in general, there is a way more flexible attitude towards different ways of digital teaching and learning, which is actually thanks to the pandemic. We can say because of the boost, because of the necessary boost, people are now more flexible towards it. And then, of course, if we want to collaborate with external partners, then the digital part for sharing documents, for example, well, the GDPR really makes that pretty difficult. So we need to work on that. And of course, the clear need of investing time and space for teachers to learn, which actually was a good confirmation of our decision to include one of the work packages which was the community for teachers. So this is our digital agenda. We're working on this right now. We have this topic ruling all our activities of the project, which is of course the agenda of seminars, but also the orientation of the challenges that we are tackling and the tools developments we are working on with the team. So we have a shared understanding of digital literacy so far after this first year of the project. We are seeing now digital literacy as a set of critical digital skills, awareness, processes, and attitudes that allow people to participate fully in digital society. And in our case, of course, also in higher education. And this is the screenshot from the self-assessment tool that we have. Of course, it's based on the Edu framework, but we have customized it in a way based on our agenda. So all teachers, all educators can do their self-assessment and see to what account we're actually using digital technology in our educational programs, and what could maybe also could be good ideas to start working on. Well, and as a conclusion for now, we have a shared vision as partners, which is that we strive to achieve this inclusive digital teaching and learning environment for collaboration and innovation focused on these 5 prioritized topics, involving all actors in higher education. So this is what we're doing now, and the next steps that we are taking in the following years is working on the other tools that we are developing. Of course, the community of practice where we learn together and exchange knowledge, where we are designing different challenges to work on with external stakeholders and also a toolkit accordingly. This is our website. We very much like to invite you to join our community. We have a page on LinkedIn as well, where we inform about all the activities of the project, and you can follow us also on social media. So this was what I was going to present and share with you today, and I'm very happy to have been able to do so after a short difficulty to get into the session. Thank you so much. I'm very happy to address any questions or consults or whatsoever.
Thank you very much, Madeline. Very, very interesting. I see a lot of things popping up into my head based on what we are doing already within the STARS EU Alliance, what we are doing in different parts of it when it comes to the digital campus, the education, but also in the challenge labs when it comes to research and knowledge production and so on. So very, very, very interesting. Both presentations, very, very interesting. Now let's see, will you have some more, or should I open up for questions, Rafael? How do you want to proceed?
No, it's the question and answer part. So yeah, anyone can ask some questions.
Okay, thank you very much. Either you'll just raise your hand digitally in Zoom, or that you show your interest on comment or questions to the TIG or for Rafael or Madeline. So please feel free. Okay, nobody. Should I break? Oh, Jose, please.
Hey, thank you, Madeline and Rafael, for the very interesting presentations. My work in the university actually is very close to what Rafael has presented, because I'm responsible for a research group in the University of La Laguna we work on on this topic of applying artificial intelligence techniques to medical images. We work specifically with mostly with retinal images of the retina, mostly on the problem of diagnosing glaucoma. But well, it could be applied to other problems. And well, I think that according to what Rafael has presented, I think that we could have some interesting points in common. We work on the same things, not so much in segmentation, but we work a lot on interpretability and explainability of how these deep learning systems take their decisions, and of course with many other things. But I think that maybe one day we could have maybe a separate meeting to talk about more specific technical questions of our research in common. So I think we could do maybe something together, or we will see, collaborate somehow. Thank you.
Okay, so
thank you, Jose. Yes, please, Rafael.
We need to talk about that. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, Rafael. Merci.
Antonio, you're up next, please.
Good afternoon, all. Thank you, Rafael and Madeline, for your presentations. I think that you are doing a very good work, and this is more a comment than a question, because I think we are from the TIG arts and creative industries, and we have so much in common in so much points that we are doing not similar work, but work that can be connected with your own. So I think the next stage, this is somehow for Gunnar also, and for every one of us, to try to establish more direct connections between our work, so that we can articulate better the work that we have been conducting and that we are going to conduct in our TIGs, in order to make it more useful and connected and articulated within the Alliance. So very good work, and we are looking forward to work with you also in the Thematic Interest Group of Arts and Creative Industries. So carry on, good work.
Thank you very much, Antonio. And as I a little bit said, I see this as well, when that there are so much competence and so much interesting initiatives, research and projects and knowledge created within different parts, and this is actually one of the main parts about this seminar series, is that we could try from the Challenge Lab in the Stars EU Alliance to support and learn from and have those crossovers between the different arts and creative industry, digitalization, health aging, energy transition, and so on, that we could see the possibilities by learning from each other and seeing what has been done in other fields or other groups, and how we could benefit from that in context and in collaboration. So that's one of the issues. And now after we end up with this 7th, we need to see how we proceed to actually foster and support the initiatives and contacts and the collaboration between our partners and the groups within the Alliance in different ways. So we are trying to do this. A brief comment about that you also said that it's quite AI and digital competence, digital literacy, digitalization. It's a broad area which could apply to almost any setting of the society. The possibilities are great. The competence and knowledge needs to be there. So I could foresee that there could be connections to almost any of our TIGs, regardless of the 7 that we have or others or more in the future. based on that, in entrepreneurship, you will need a digital competence. You could benefit from AI in many different settings. So the question is that, how do you at this time in the TIG look upon to pursue? How you have these two examples of initiatives, projects. Will you go with these, or will you do more and others? Or how about the contact and collaboration between all the partners? Because we had a restart of this TIG with new contacts and new responsible, because we needed to get the work to restart based on the possibilities of those in the group and so on. But the forthcoming future for the TIG, how do you look upon it? Will these be the two, and you could enlarge a digital literacy project, or is that close to the fore? And how do you look upon the AI project in medicine? Could you involve others, or are you looking for more and other initiatives as well? I don't, Rafael, did you hear me?
Yeah. In fact, I wanted to see if someone would answer. In fact, I think that many scenarios are possible. So if we focus on a specific task, which is very, as I mentioned, specific, in fact, we need to see in all the university who are the collaborators, the possible collaborators. So, of course, it's maybe easier to focus on the specific task. For example, as I mentioned, if we would like to work on ECG-based diagnosis, it's quite easy to make a project on that, because it is very focused on one specific field. If we would like to make something which is larger, with the goal is to help doctors to improve diagnosis in general, maybe it's very interesting, but is it possible to propose a subject on that, a possible project? I don't know. Maybe it's easier with a very specific project. And I'm quite sure that in all the universities, there are many other projects that are interesting. So either in one focus for AI with medicine, but also with literacy, but I'm quite sure that other colleagues have other ideas. So I'm sure that in my university, there are other colleagues that would be interesting. Something I wanted to add is there is on the ENSEL website a way in which there is a file in which each colleagues could add some knowledge about his research. That could be very interesting if many of us are able to fill this document in order to know who is working on what. So I don't know if anyone has the link here on that document, but it would be interesting to fill this document.
Thank you very much, Rafael. I believe it's a good strategy. I think it's important that both that we get to go know each other and our competences, our strengths within the alliance, then see the possibilities of interaction and where it's suitable or not, but also that we pursue different initiatives and projects so we get some successes. We can't do everything at all the time. We need to focus on where we have the possibilities. So small steps to actually see that we are progressing, and from that try to evolve and develop contacts and collaborations. But as Antonio and Jose said, and I think that others could agree with, we see the possibilities not least with a digital TIG, to interact and collaborate with almost all the other TIGs in different ways.
Thank you, Marich, for the link. You have the link in the chat. Try to take this link and fill it when you can.
Yes, thank you very much, Marike. That's great, and please try to use that link if you haven't already done, to fill out the information, so we will get more contact and information on interests and possibilities of joint collaborations.
Yeah, and something we can add. I think that in all universities you have a list of colleagues that could work on many different things. So, for example, in my university, there is at least 50 permanent assistant professor or professor. So I will ask some of them to fill it, because if I am alone to fill it, it's not interesting. So what could be interesting for you is to do the same, to ask all of your colleagues to fill this document.
Good. That's a really good point. Are there any more thoughts, questions, comments to the digital TIG? I can't see any raised hand or any. If not, I thank you for a really nice and interesting presentation. A lot of food for thought, very interesting. I see a lot of possibilities, a lot of things that we could try to develop jointly together. And I think that you are you're progressing very good in the TIG, and I'll thank you very much for your nice work and the efforts made, and that I think that we could find these new mutual and interesting contacts and development together. So it's thank you again, both Madeline and Rafael, Marieke, that you have said that try to make this happen and collaborate within the TIG, and I'm looking forward to our future contacts and the collaboration, because I think this is most interesting and applicable to most areas that we are doing within this alliance and our joint work. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Gunnar. Thank you all. Just some final remarks. The next meeting of the TIG Digital Transformation is planned on September 25th at 12 o'clock Central European time. So TIG members, please join, and if members of the other TIGs are interested to further discuss on the issues we have presented today, feel free to join us.
Great, perfect. Thank you very much, and we'll also be back when it comes to more information about the what's happening forward for future seminars, information from the Challenge Lab as the format for research collaborations in the STARS EU Alliance, and also different meetings as such, the Kickoff, and if we not meet there or in the staff week in Bremen, we'll hopefully meet in Besançon in March. So once again, thank you all, and good luck with the good work, and see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
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 Thank you, bye.
Bye.
Bye.